Hi, this is Ken Cerny again at Christ Lutheran. Today I'd like to take you through a new piece of equipment that we have that kind of went along with the new cameras that we acquired. So this PTZ controller is a new controller. This is our old one, which was a larger AV pause. Worked great. There's nothing wrong with it. However, we did have one of the new cameras does come with NDI. This has NDI built into it also. And so we wanted to be able to take advantage of some of the things that the new camera can do, and we're hoping that this will do that. It does have some capabilities the old controller does not have, which we're happy to have also. So let me share with you what I've discovered and how to set up this controller to take advantage of our older cameras, our newer cameras, and especially the NDI camera. So with that in mind, let me switch over to this camera right here. So basically we have all four cameras are actually, and I'm going to come back here for a moment, all four cameras, we have two that are mounted on the walls, one that you're looking at me through, the other one on the other side of the church. We have these two cameras up front here. They all go into our 810 Mini Extreme video switcher. That is an HDMI input, so all the cameras do HDMI. This also does NDI, which I have coming in here now also. And all of those have to come together, and we can switch and mix and match the cameras because they all work together. So all of them need to be controlled by the PTZ controller. Otherwise, we end up with a remote for every camera, which doesn't really work that well on its own. So with four cameras, we didn't need to have four remotes. We needed one controller, and that's what we have. Now, I have had all of those four cameras on the old controller also. So initially, I made sure that it works with the old controller in case this one wasn't going to work for us. But I wanted to make sure that I knew how that worked also. So they did all work on this older controller. They all came in using the HDMI, obviously, and then the protocol that we're using over there and for most of them on here is called Visca over IP. And again, I'll show you how that works. So here's the new controller. So it's nice, it's small, it's about half the size of the old one, and it's just really got a lot of nice capabilities with it. It's got a nice feel. It's solid. There's no weakness to it, it feels like. I think this is plastic, but it's still a very solid remote or a solid controller for the PTZ cameras. Just go into the menu here. You can see the menu, and you can control the menu items by using the joystick, or you can use this knob here and then back up to go out, or back up or push this one to go in. So what these knobs do here, you have these two menu items here, select and back. Since they're right here, those are the knobs that you use to press in order to select that particular command. So I'll go back, or I'll select, and then I can use this to scroll down, and that works on all of the menus that you have up here. So I'm going to back up to the main part, hit the menu, here's the main menu, and we can make all these changes here. So as we go through, you can also select here, but you can also select there. So the top of the top button on the remote also allows you to select. When you're using the joystick, you can just use this to do that. And then back up by just going back to the left. So yeah, lots of different ways to do the same thing, whatever works for you. Going to check the network out here real quick. You can see I have DHCP is on. It works just fine with DHCP on, so I don't have to select it. What I do need to know is the IP address so that I can go into the webcam or my browser and pull up the menu for this particular controller. So that was a 1.114. I plugged that into the browser, 192.168.1.114. Hit enter. It brings up a login, and of course the admin deal, and then I'm in. So this also tells you what I have set up, and it goes through the same menu items here. Okay, so you can do it either way. I'm going to show it to you on the actual piece of equipment here. So let's continue on here, and what I'm going to do is continue on down. Oops, go back here to the primary menu. I'm going to continue on down all the way to reset the device. I'll talk about some of the other menu items here as we go. So I'm going to reset this device so I can show you how I set it up, and it really is pretty easy. All right, resetting the device. Now, the big thing is I want to have them set up so that they match pretty much what I have right now. Hi, I hope you're liking this video so far. If you are, please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and help us get through the algorithms so that more and more people will see this video and they can take advantage of it also. So as that is doing its update or resetting itself, what I want to do is I want to set up all 4 cameras so that all the presets go to the exact same spot, so that no matter what I'm doing, I can take any camera to the spot where they are, whatever is happening up by the altar, they're all going to go to the same spot. So preset 1 is going to be the same on all cameras, preset 2 is going to be the same location on all cameras, 3 and so forth. It makes it easier for us to remember where we're looking within the church, and for the volunteers that's really critical. They just need to know where they need to put the camera for the next piece that's coming up in the service. All right, so let me go back to the PTZ controller, and again, KC606N is the nomenclature for the controller. And as you can see, we have camera 1, but it's not set up on anything right now. Now here's those different menu items down here along the bottom. There's 4 options down on the pages, and that corresponds to each of the 4 knobs right below it. They all turn, and you can see the number will change on the PTZ speed. You can see that. And then on the zoom speed, I can increase and decrease that. And you can do that for each of the cameras. So I want to get my cameras in here. The easiest way, since I already have all 4 cameras have changed the IPs to static IPs addresses, and so therefore I can just hit a search. They're all plugged in, they're all on the network, and they're all connected, again, connected to the network, but they all have the same IP addresses. So here we have the search results for what they can find out there for the different protocols. So the first 4 are Visca over IP, and that's what I'm going to use for 3 of them. I'm going to use NDI for the third or for the 4th one. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 cameras. I can come down here. And this one, by the way, I'll talk about that in a moment. There's 4, 5 ONVIF options. Again, these are all cameras or equipment that are on the network. And then I have the one NDI down here at the bottom, which is my NDI camera. So that's going to be real. That we'll get back to that in a minute. So I'm going to go up here and I'm going to use the Visca over IP protocol for the first 3 cameras. So they are labeled 161 through 164. So I'm going to select the first one, which is going to be camera 1. Okay, so it wants me to do a device name. I'm going to select again. I'm going to add a 1 to camera. Select one more time. And now this one is the device list is going to be cam 1. So I'm going to select cam 1. And that basically corresponds to cam 1 right there. So that's all that is. Cam 1 is cam 1. So we'll select that, and it's saved. Now I'm going to do that with each one of these. So this is how fast this can go to set this up once they're all seen. And again, I changed every one of those cameras to a static IP that met the requirements on my network, and then it made it easy for me to know exactly which one is which. 162 is going to be camera 2. Put a 2 on there, select camera 2, and enter. That's number 3. That's the second one. Okay, 163 is camera 3. There's cam 3. And 164 is cam 4. I'm not going to put this in Visca over IP simply so I can show you that I'm going to put this down here in NDI. So there's 1.164, same camera using NDI, and I'm going to choose this protocol for this one. So you can have multiple protocols, and you can see the name is a lot larger. Well, to keep that from having to scroll, I want to keep this down to a minimum. I'm going to back up and get rid of most of this. I don't need that. Get rid of that. Add 4 in there and get rid of the Fomako name. Now it's very close to the rest of them. So camera 4 NDI. Just allows me to know that it's a little different, and enter that as cam 4. Okay, so the cameras I wanted are all set up in here. I don't need these other protocols because they're just pointing to the same camera. This one right here, this 1.115, that's actually for a Zowie box, which I'm going to use to change the NDI signal over to, let's see if I can show that right here. There it is. There we go. The Zowie box is just simply another network attachment that is basically a NDI encoder decoder. So I'm using it in the decoding mode because I'm bringing in the NDI signal from the camera, and it's going out on the other side as an HDMI out. Okay, so that's all this is doing. So it allows my HDMI A10 Mini Extreme to use NDI signals, and that's a 1080p signal, 1080p 60 going out, but it comes in as NDI over here. So I've already got that set up. I don't need to have that on here because I can control that box from here anyways. I'm not worried about it. All that's doing is converting my signal from NDI to HDMI. I have everything set up the way I want it. So I'm going to turn the search off, and I can bring up my cam list. And now here's my 4 cameras. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, and go this way, camera 4 NDI. So it's not a touchscreen. So there we are. We have 4 cameras. Now each one of them are programmed here also. So I'm going to then select, so we turn off the cam list, and now down here, if you notice, call is already been selected. I'm going to select cam instead, and I'm going to change this to camera 2. It connects, shows the location of where it's actually looking compared to the home location of the straight on, and it shows the information that I need. So there's cam 2, there's the IP address, there's where it's looking, and now I can control the pan tilt speed, the zoom speed, the manual focus, autofocus, all of that. I can control that from here once I select that cam. Now once cam is selected, you'll see it turned orange here. I don't have to keep hitting that each time, and that's one thing the older PTZ controller I had to hit with the cam selected. I had to hit call, number, enter. Now when this is selected, all I got to do is hit the number, and it automatically selects the camera I'm trying to find, and that works out well. Now once I have the camera I want to find, I'm going to hit call and the preset for that particular camera. So anytime I have call set up, whatever camera is up here, I can change it to any of the presets with one single button push. And I'll go to wherever I'm sending it. So that's the call. Now to set the presets, I can set them here. Now the thing is, presets are set and stay in memory within each of the cameras. So you have to set the presets for each one. So I can set, for instance, you won't see where it's actually located, but right now, cam 1, I'm going to set it in the position number 1. So to set the presets, you hit set and you hit the number and it stores. So it's right up there, store preset 1. So that when you go to it, you can change, or I should say it'll go to that preset whenever you hit the call then. All right, so let's look at what the cameras look like. All right, so let me bring up one of the cameras. I'm going to bring up camera 3. I'm going to pull up camera 3 on the screen here. Make sure I have the right one. There it is. All right, so this is a picture through camera 3, which is one of the new Fomako cameras. And it's just on a tripod right in front of my booth here. All right, so I can manage that camera with the mouse. And it works out really well. All right, so not the mouse, but the joystick. So I can manage this camera using the joystick. And I can move it wherever I want to. Now look at the speed that it's going on my controller. That's telling me PTZ4, so I'm going to up that to PTZ6, or the PT speed to 6, and you can see there's a significant upgrade. And how did I do that? Let me switch back here. As I'm moving the joystick back and forth to pan the camera, I can choose the PT speed here, and the zoom, focal zoom in also, and I can change that PT speed, pan and tilt, right here. If I want to increase it, I just bump it up. This is where the 6 is that I bumped it up, and you can do that. I'm going to show you this all in one in here in a moment. In fact, I can do that right now. So I'm going to go to my super source setup. There we go. So now you have me in camera 1. You have the preview, or the view of the PTZ controller, and then you have camera 3 on the top. And if I go cam 4 is on the bottom. Now cam 4 is a higher end camera. This is the KN20 by Fomako, and it's got kind of 2 speeds when you use this controller. So it's got a slower, when you just push it slightly. If I push it all the way, you can see it picks up speed. That same thing doesn't work with using the K20UH, which is the other Fomako camera. So it's basically, you can kind of go slow, and then all of a sudden, then it's there. So it's a little bit different speed controls. I kind of like this because it's a little bit more under control, it seems like, but it doesn't get there quite fast enough sometimes. So I kind of like the other one too. So the 2 cameras have different ways of managing that, but you can do that on either one using the mouse. Once I do a call, so if I call for camera 3, position 1, or preset 1, it immediately focuses in. Well, let's redo that. It's supposed to be focusing in on right there. So I'm going to come back over here, set 1. It's now set on that position. I'm assuming I might have bumped it or moved it around in the process, so maybe my presets are off a little bit. So let's see what call 2. Okay, call 2 should be right about there. So I'm going to come back up here to set, and I'm going to set 2. And then I'm going to set 3 where I know it's supposed to be, which is zoomed in. Oop. Went up a little bit high. Okay, there's set 3. So it's already set, and I just have to press their number. So now I can call 1, call 2, and call 3. So just by pressing a single button, I can do that. So let me go to cam 4, and I'm going to call 1. It's probably going to be off a little bit too. Yep, it's on the wrong place. So yeah, I moved both of these cameras around. So again, I'm going to set 1, bring it over here to the altar. You can see how that speed really gets going too fast if I try to do it all with the joystick. I'm going to set this at 3, and then zoom back, widescreen or wide view, and set 2. All right, so now call 1, 2, and 3. Oop, 3. So there it all is. So the once they're set, they call up pretty nicely. Now the nice thing about that, you saw me controlling it and over controlling it using the joystick. The presets will keep you from over controlling it. Also, the presets can be adjusted prior to that particular camera coming up. Now you've been hearing the beeping that's going on since I changed this over to, and I'm going to go back to this screen. So you heard the beeping that goes on since I changed this over to and reset the entire controller. So I'm going to go back to menu, and I can go down to beep. This is the easiest thing to turn off. There's the on-off button. You select that. It's off. Go back. Now I can also come down here to joystick, and I can change the pan and tilt, and I can reverse them. Now the reason you would want to reverse them is this right here. Let me go back to this, and I'm going to push forward. I'm going to push, yeah, we got to get back to the camera. Okay, I'm on camera 4, so I'm going to push forward on 4, and you can see it goes up. Now, being a pilot, typically I pull back on the stick in order to go up. In this case, it's just the opposite. So it's a little bit counterintuitive for me. So what I can do is I can go into the menu, and I can come down here to joystick, select joystick, and then I can come down here to tilt, reverse, and now that problem won't happen to me again. So back up out of here, and now when I go forward, it goes up. When I go pull it back, it goes down, and that's kind of counterintuitive depending on which way you like it. Okay, so as I'm looking out over the if I push down or push forward, my nose goes down, and I should be going down below the horizon. When I pull back, my nose comes up, and I'm looking above the horizon. So for me, this makes more sense because, again, I'm a retired pilot, and that just makes more sense. I pull back to go up, I push forward to go down, and it works better in my mind. I'm always going the wrong direction otherwise if I don't change that. So you can change that in the menu. You can change what the knobs do, the display, the beep, the joystick, the language. It tells a little bit about the device, and then of course the reset, which we're not going to do anymore. So I'm going to get rid of the menu. The last thing I can do here is I can take a look at, I can give previews on this screen here. So I can actually do a preview for camera 4, and I can actually see what's happening right here on this view here also. So camera 3 and camera 4 do allow previews from the camera right here. I don't need that. I have the A10 Mini Extreme Multi-View preview mode, and that's much, much better for me and much easier to see than this small little screen here, especially since what I want to see is not the screen so much as which camera I'm on. So this is the screen that I'm going to have up most of the time. I'm not going to have the picture up. I want to be able to see what camera I'm on and then what controls I need to control. So that's in a nutshell this particular PTZ controller, the Fomako KC606N. And one last thing, I can move the pan and tilt here. I can twist in order to zoom or not zoom. So let me go back one more time, and I can zoom in or zoom out or zoom in. Okay. Or I can go to cam 4 and do the same thing. I can also do the same thing using this over here. So one of the problems with zooming on this one is I actually might bump it a certain way and kind of get out of control, where I can use this wide and telephoto to do the same thing. So there you go. That's the system. That's our new Fomako PTZ controller, controlling 2 Fomako cameras and 2 AVPOS cameras that we've had for the last 2 years. I hope that helps you understand how easy this is to set up. It's an awesome thing to use, and I hope you have a good day.